What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Aftersound here, bringing you Splinterlands content every single day. We also stream right here on this channel every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday morning. So come by and say hello. All right. So this is my 5 biggest takeaways from the most recent town hall. It is the morning after, and the town hall summary has still not been posted by the team, and I have not been able to find any of the other written content creators who usually post their things. So I am referencing still the post from yesterday, which I would say is a bigger deal than what happened in the town hall. But I made a video about this specifically already. It's the most recent one, talking about the ECR and liquidity pool updates, which I think are very exciting. And I'll have some additional thoughts on that maybe in this video, maybe I'll save it for another video. But as usual, I have my 5 biggest takeaways here, so to give you the visual on what I'll be talking about. And I think we can just jump right in, and if I need to reference this, then I can. But yeah, this is just my 5 biggest takeaways, just the 5 things that I found most interesting. This is not a full summary of the town hall. There are usually good written summaries as well as other video summaries by other content creators who I encourage you to go support. But these are just the 5 things that stuck out to me. Now, I'm not talking about ECR, I'm not talking about governance, and I'm not talking about liquidity pools because I did the video last night. That's what I was trying to say. So these are the other 5 things that we can get into. So, number 1, the top NFT airdrop for marketing. So, there's been a lot of talk about marketing, especially here on this channel. People are trying to figure out what the plan is with marketing and how they are trying to go about bringing in new players into the game, because growth has been somewhat stagnant. And so, the thing is, when it comes down to it, one of the things mentioned by Agrod was the idea of doing NFT airdrops for top NFT projects. So Bored Ape Yacht Club, punks, things like that, in order to get them interested in like a grassroots kind of way. Now, this just happened in STEPN, which is why I find it to be very relevant for the conversation, at least for the folks who might be following here. So what STEPN just did, for those not familiar, is they essentially gave free NFTs, free, shoes or sneakers in their project to all Bored Ape Yacht Club holders. This was not an official collaboration, even though the marketing almost made it seem like it was, but it's essentially just one project giving free stuff to holders of another project. And I will tell you that the community was not very happy about it, because all of a sudden you had all these, Bored Ape Yacht Club holders, minting these shoes for free that they receive for free, and then just dumping them on the market because they didn't have an interest, but they're going to take stuff for free. And so all of the money that was made there went to these people who have nothing to do with the project, and it wasn't rewarding for the people who were actually in STEPN doing the work, running every day and being part of the economy. And so it was not received well. And when I heard this, I'll be honest, I'm not saying that they're going to do this. I think Agrod was just kind of referencing some ideas. And so, again, it just pops up because it didn't sit well with the community for STEPN, and I highly doubt that it would sit well with the community for Splinterlands. Now, maybe it could be good, right? Because I don't want to look at one instance and it being bad being the kind of end-all, be-all of things. So maybe, you hit the right person, you hit the right, kind of community, maybe not Bored Ape Yacht Club, but if you do this in a way where it could reach the right people, that could be interesting if it brings people in, if it brings relevant and interested new prospective potential people in. So again, from a marketing perspective, I don't know that that's the route that I would go, but if you're following what some of the other top projects are doing, like STEPN, then maybe they're all just copying from one another. I don't know. So that stuck out to me, and I wanted to kind of discuss it. Second thing, they have a new roadmap, and I'm gonna see if they have it or I posted it in iCandy. There it is. Cool. So this thing was updated, keep in mind, about 2 weeks ago, and some of the stuff is already outdated. So for example, like ranked rewards, we are going to get most of these things in the next couple of days, yet it's only at 20%, right? We know we're going to get the daily focus mechanic change. We're going to get the new daily focuses. We also know that ECR is going to be included in this as well. I don't think season rentals are coming in, but that's why I'm saying this 20% seems a little outdated. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they'll jump up 60% or 70% overnight or over the next couple of days. But for Q3, what remains are, let's go through this. So tech modernization, this seems like it's almost done. And I would say, again, the fact that they're rolling out updates every other week at this point is a good testament to the fact that it seems as though the back end has been shored up very nicely. Let's go to the non-card market next. Now, this is something, again, we don't have a time frame specifically, but since we're in July, or mid-July, I should say, past mid-July, I would assume that we might get this in August, just because what Agrid was talking about was a lot of developmental kind of releases in August. So non-card market seems to make sense. Rift Watchers, not really from yesterday, but 2 town halls ago, Yabamat was saying that this could be, they want to do it in August, but it might get pushed to September. But keep in mind, the team mentioned like March, as early as March, way back at the beginning of this year. I think that was only if Chaos Legion had sold out immediately as people were expecting. But we've heard June, then we've heard July, then we've heard August, and now we're hearing September. So I have no idea what to expect with this. I know that the team isn't trying to delay it for, just delaying purposes. But I do wonder if some of the other elements of what they're trying to put out, such as maybe the non-card market, will take precedence over that, and maybe some of the other game design changes that they want to do. For example, if ranked rewards update needs to have another tweak, that might take precedence. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a Rift Watchers pre-sale start to get announced, maybe even start in August, but I don't think we're getting Rift Watchers until September at this point, since September was already put out there by the team. And then we get Land Phase 1. If everything else goes to plan, then I'm hoping that we can get Land in September. Because if we can get all these other things in August, the one thing that they haven't been talking about is Land. And so I know people are very excited for that. And if we can get Land in September, that'd be great. Now, you know me, I try to be a realist when it comes to timeframes, and I have been saying since the beginning that I don't think that we're going to get Land until Q4. Now, not like late Q4, but I'm thinking like October-ish Q4. The only caveat that I'll say to kind of roll that back, or to play devil's advocate on my own point, is there's going to be a lot of hype heading into October for Splinterfest. So I think it is well worth the team's time or at least effort, to try and get it out before Splinterfest, so that all the people who are attending can talk through Land and everything that's out there, right? I don't think they want to push that off later than they really have to. So we might get it in September, which could make August and September very exciting months to be part of the project. I would say this whole summer has been really exciting. I know if you're looking from an asset value and tokenomics perspective, it is not, but the game has undergone tremendous changes to curb exploitative behavior, as well as make things way easier and a better experience for new players, both at the reward level as well as the competition level, right? So I'm excited about that. Q4, we have SPS validators. That's the only thing that's listed on here. And with Q4 being the holidays, I really don't think we're going to get much. November, starting from like mid-November to end of December, I feel like everybody's just somewhat checked out. And even though this is a kind of international game, Christmas, even Thanksgiving to a certain extent. Well, Thanksgiving here in the U.S. is big, but I would say just the holiday season, everybody just generally tends to slow down in most parts of the world, I should say. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a slowdown happening there. Now, I think there will still be updates going on in terms of, tweaks to ranked rewards, tweak to Modern and Wild, because they used to have something on here for like Modern and Wild Phase 2, but that's no longer here. And so I'm assuming that's just kind of like, instead of it being a Phase 2, it's just going to be ongoing tweaks. So that's probably what we'll see throughout most of Q4. And then Q1, I don't even want to get into because this stuff is so far out. But it's exciting to see what's there on the roadmap. I think I'll start looking at Q1 once we get into the later months of Q3, because I do believe that a lot is going to be determined in the next couple of months in terms of how, what we can expect, whether it's Rebellion, whether it's SPS governance, whether it's Land Phase 2. We'll have to see how all these things get rolled out and the community reception to them. So let's go to number 3. This was a kind of a little bit throwaway comment by Agrod in response to somebody asking about how active land management will be. And so Agrod mentioned that they hoped to get land to be something more active in the future where you can do certain things with it. But it sounds as though land will be passive. Now, when I think about land, I think about almost like yield farming, right? Where you're just trying to optimize different things, but essentially every single day your land is like working for you. You're not working it, right? It is working for you by you putting monsters on it, and it is generating these items. Well, sorry, not items and spells, but it's generating resources for you at a rate of X per hour. You know what I mean? And so you go in and maybe the more you spend to upgrade, the more you CP you might put into what's that called? The more CP you might put into, I don't know, have some kind of boost, right, to your overall land production. Yeah, those are the ways in which you can kind of gamify it, but it's not going to be something like the actual game where you go in and play things. It's going to be very passive, which I think we were all expecting, right? But some folks were wondering just how active you needed to be in land, if there was going to be, for example, I think Nate has talked about occupied land in the past. So that at least sounds like it's far off. And when I say far off, I mean like phase 3 of land, which is maybe a year from now, depending on how development goes. So this is kind of just a confirmation, I think, of what most people thought. But, we don't have much information on land. So, again, it kind of stuck out to me as something like, okay, well, now we know. There's almost a sense of like disappointment in Agrod's response, because he's just like, yeah, it's just going to be passive. And so I get it. I know land is going to be one of the biggest things in the game. And I think we're just going to have to be patient about waiting for that in phases. And so hopefully we get phase 1 or phase 0 with the non-card market soon, and then phase 1 sometime before the end of Q3. Okay, so somebody had asked when vouchers for power and bloodstones, and the team seemed somewhat open to this, and that I think Cryptomancer had even discussed it. Now, I need to go back and look and see if I can find it somewhere on Discord, but this is kind of maybe the first elements of having an ongoing utility for vouchers, where if there is a voucher shop, buying power and bloodstones, which are kind of the potions for Gladius cards and Gladius packs, I should say. I think that would be a great use, right? Because people who are very much involved in guilds and brawls, and I think many people will start getting into that more as SPS rewards come to brawls. That will be something where now you can go in and spend a voucher for these items. Now, again, until it comes, guys, and until there is confirmation and a post about it, I would just say wait. Don't make any crazy assumptions yet, because I'm still waiting for the airdrop potion that was talked about in January that never came, right? So there's always a lot of great ideas, and I feel like in the town hall, the team is always very open and receptive in saying that, yeah, this sounds like a good idea. I think we can work that in. And then things change on the back end that we're not privy to that information, right? So I think that if this does come to pass, and if I can find where Cryptomancer had talked about it, it'll be great to at least have something in an ongoing voucher store, because you can see voucher prices have just absolutely gone through the floor. They've gone much lower than I had expected. But there's like, they're supposed to get you the coolest things in the game, and we're not getting cool things right now. So if you want to speculate on voucher prices, you can, but this is why I want there to be ongoing utility for both SPS and vouchers, because vouchers are a token in the game. So hopefully we get that, and or we get some kind of voucher store where you can buy those things, and we get other elements or other items that you can purchase. Now, the best thing about this too is that if they are in, because power and bloodstones aren't like an NFT, it's like an endless sink for vouchers. And I love that, because it's not, people can't gamify it and like buy something with vouchers and then flip those items. It's something where your vouchers get burned and you buy these things and they have one use case. You can't trade them. You can't do anything. You just use them just like potions. And so this is something that I think would be perfect for an item like vouchers. All right, last thing, and I know this is usually a hot topic in the community, but it sounds as though they want to kill the mobile app. Those were literally the words that Hardpoint said. Now, it's not that they want to kill the app. but they do want to kill the way in which it functions right now. There is another company that does development for them, and this is why it has always been behind. It's because the team puts these items or puts these major changes and developments out as quickly as possible, so that we as a community, for those of us playing on web, can enjoy and appreciate those as soon as possible. There's something that they say, MVP, like minimum viable product or something like that. They just want the most base case out to us, so that we as the community can start working with it and let them know if there's any bugs, and they can continue to iterate on it over time and improve it. So with mobile, what they want to do is kill what the current code is, and then essentially implement a mobile friendly version of what they're doing on the web. And the big thing behind that is the fact that now they will, or at that point, they will only have to update one set of code, rather than going in and coding the website and then mobile being in a completely different language and them having to put everything in there. And not only that, this seems like it's outsourced to another company. So there's no time frame for when that happens, but I did want to just call it out as one of the things that they are doing, so that hopefully in the future, right? Because this is, I don't think that this is this is not a good habit, and or not habit, but it's just the community is not appreciating the fact that we get these major changes and then they follow in a couple weeks later on mobile. It sounds as though in the future, when this implementation goes live, when there is a change to the code on the website, boom, it's immediately done on mobile. So I know it's been tough for folks, and patience is wearing thin, especially in a bear market, but there is something coming down the road, where I couldn't say that before, right? I didn't know what was happening with mobile. I know that they wanted to redo some things with mobile, or bring on a new team for mobile, or whatever the case is. But this is the first kind of substantial update that we've gotten on what they want to do with mobile exactly. And so I think that's great, and I just hope that they can get this in sooner rather than later, with all of the other changes and implementations that they have coming up in the future. So that's all I have. I wanted to keep this somewhat short and sweet, because I know it's not the juicy stuff, but again, the juicy stuff had a video of its own, because they had made a post about that. So if you want more information on the ECR changes, the LP rewards, and then a little bit about the governance stuff that was discussed in that post, I have a separate video about that, and you can get my thoughts in that video. So let me know your thoughts on the town hall, if you watched it, and how you're feeling about it. But other than that, I will catch you all in the next video, and I will see you around the game. Take care.